What campaign skills have you improved the most over the past year?
Being outside for a year and talking to people, initially I had this focus of, okay, I need to go out there and convince everybody, so I'm going to go out there with my 5-point plan, and these are the reasons I'm running, and I'm going to tell you why you should vote for me. And over the course of a year and a half just being out there, that kind of switched over. And what I learned to do a lot better is to go out there and just listen to people, to really just be someone who will say, what's on your mind? What do you think I should focus on? And it really kind of changes the conversation. Then all of a sudden someone's like, okay, you're not trying to force your policy on me. You're genuinely asking me what you think. Mm-hmm. And that's been able to give me the opportunity to learn so much from people in the community who have a vested interest in what's happening, and people who just feel like their voice is never heard. So to be able to provide folks an opportunity to kind of help shape our agenda has been invaluable, because then I could point to example after example of issue after issue that I met standing on corner after corner. And it's really been able to make me a better candidate. It's made my campaign 100 times better. And again, if I'm able to pull this off, it will be because I think I took the time to stand outside and ask people what matters to you. Mm-hmm. And even our first mail piece that we sent out a couple weeks ago, we had a survey in there. And I've gotten, so many responses of handwritten letters back from people who say, thanks for asking. Yeah. I think it should be housing that we focus on. I think it should be education we should focus on. I think it should be small businesses we should focus on. And the fact that Westsiders are taking the time to pay attention to our stuff and also respond in turn is just phenomenal. Because if I'm able to win this race, mm-hmm. everyone in the community needs to understand that their work isn't going to stop with just filling out a survey. They're going to need to stay active and engaged, because that's the only way we're going to improve our community and our city.
When you look at the presidential campaign, there's always a reference to Bob in Des Moines and going through a particular struggle. And you think to yourself, wow, they've really got this down. They understand how to connect to the locals and then bring that into the larger conversation. And you're getting that experience firsthand and learning the ropes firsthand. Yeah,
and I mean, sometimes when you see it on TV or you hear from a presidential campaign, it's easy to be, I think, a little skeptical and cynical. Yeah. But I genuinely now have just had all these conversations where I could point to specific people, a woman at the senior center on 73rd Street who, is terribly worried that, her base income is going a little bit higher because of her cost of living adjustments from Social Security. But the benefits that the city is going to provide, if she hits a certain threshold, she might lose the funding for her apartment. Mm-hmm. That's like a real life thing that seniors are really worried about, housing issues. Or, there was a senior center on 76th Street that had their funding cut this year and it was put back in at the last second. But this whole budget dance has real impact on seniors who every single day go to this one center to get their lunch. And if that closes, what happens to all of them? So even though politics is this whole kind of strategy and tactics and game, the biggest kind of lesson learned is all of the decisions that you can make in government have a real impact on people's lives, and you really cannot lose sight of that. So having these personal stories, understanding all the time when you're out there talking about housing, keeping in mind, these folks that you've met on the street who are dealing with this in real time, in real life, is essential. It really is.